Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone. We got Novak Djokovic today, which feels like not the most familiar name in men's tennis these days. Last time he played was in Madrid, as he opted out of Rome and then a late entry to Geneva. Yeah, Ghosty, that's the plan. We'll see if anyone else is joining. I'm going to throw up the score here. Hold on. All right, can you guys hear me? Beautiful. Ghosty, thank you, thank you. Yeah, you like this? It says Fenway Park, Ghosty. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, I got to tune into this match now. Djokovic starts it off with a hold. I mean, I feel like this is kind of the first time where you're really questioning Djokovic in terms of his level, his fitness, obviously his form. But time and time again, it's just one of those guys you never want to count out. Yeah, yeah, tough loss for my Celtics. Thank you for checking in on me, Ghosty. But I guess like talking about his opponent, Martin Fucsovics, a player that I feel like I've struggled to kind of get a read on in terms of really his like play style, where he, um, where he, I guess, fits best. Obviously, it is clay. He does like the heavy conditions. I think he won Bucharest last year, but then he kind of disappears, hangs outside like the top 100 or just inside of it. Doesn't play a boatload of events. So kind of just like a difficult player to read. Does use the slice really effectively. Here in Geneva, we've got altitude, so a little bit different. But right now, we're just going to see how Novak looks. He did part ways with Andy Murray. So, I mean, what do you guys? I mean, I guess I'll just propose the question. Do you think, Djokovic has a legitimate shot? Let's say at least getting to the semifinals of Roland Garros. Last year was dealing with that knee injury, comes through against Cerundolo, and then ends up not even playing against Rude, I believe. And so then Rude had to walk over into the semifinal where he played Zverev. Yeah, 100% Ghosty. I feel like he kind of threw in the towel after Madrid. I mean, like, especially going out, um, that early, both in Monte Carlo and Madrid, opposite of Rome. Very odd, very obviously, like, uncharacteristic, and doesn't even sign up till Geneva, I think maybe a few days, before. But yeah, obviously, he wasn't gonna skip Roland Garros, and I think, he wants to just give himself the best shot. At this point, his body should be, feeling pretty good. You look at it, 2 matches in a month and a half, like, Fucsovics is on the board. I did wanna check in on, Zverev. Wow, he did end up getting that break back against Mueller. So Zverev at 5-4. I'm, like, curious how much effort Zverev's gonna put in. Obviously, Amberg, one of, like, the most meaningful tournaments to him, so I feel like it's difficult for him to kinda just, like, loosely go about it, but ends up losing the first set and then was down a break in the third, an early one. But he did get it back, and Mueller is serving at 4-5 to stay in the match. Yeah, I mean, that's how I pronounce it, Ghosty. Zverev? Zverev? Sasha Zverev? I don't know how else I would do it. Beautiful there. Beautiful forehand from Knoll. I feel like Vucevic isn't, like, I guess not the worst player to play against in, return. Definitely could be worse ranking-wise. Ghosty. I'll tip my cap to you on that one. But, Vucevic's gonna play more like a wall. I don't think he's gonna be trying to blast stuff. He's trying to construct points, so, allow Knoll to get some more rhythm. So Djokovic love hold. He's moving on. What's going on? How did the Cozy, how did the rest of that Raducanu Collins match go? I did see on Twitter Danielle giving the cameraman some words, which I don't disagree with at all. Oh, that is quite interesting. So Arnaldi took down Marijan. So if Djokovic does beat Fucsovics, then he will have a little setup, little rematch. Nerlon, good to hear from you again. Sorry I had to run out earlier. Hopefully Fergus was able to hold down the fort, although things did not go his way in terms of hashtag backing the Brits. All right, back at it here. Geneva has such a good aesthetic around the center court, the green, the flowers. They do a good job. Got to give them credit. Yeah, only sometimes, Ghosty. Only sometimes. Good exchange though there from Fucsovics, staying in the backhand to backhand rally, letting, Djokovic kinda do the dictating, and he's reacting a bit more. Zverev pulled this off. No, Ghosty. It's not really like that. I mean, there's clay. There's plenty of it. I call it, like, I guess the 3rd name, green clay, hard true, and I call it country club clay because that's what they, that's what most clubs have up here. So, I mean, I guess in that sense, they're around, readily available. Not quite. But yeah, there is a bunch of indoor tennis. So you need it. The winter is long, right? I thought that's a good one. Some beautiful touch there from Fucsovics. Using good depths on the backhand. Djokovic trying to mix up the heights there, throw a little bit more of like a fake moon ball in there, and Fucsovics kind of just turns on it inside in with the forehand. Gets a low ball, has really good hands. Fucsovics has very good hands. Very good slice, keeps the ball low. Is it New York? Is New York the commonly believed first tennis courts? Or the first US tennis courts? Yeah, in Boston, we have this club called Longwood. It's actually all grass courts. I'm not sure if they, I would have to imagine they had events there in the early days, but 40-15, good return from Knoll. Knoll goes for the backhand down the line, a little assistance from the net cord. Vucevic is also so fit, such a fit athlete. Think about how that goes for him today. And nice little touch drop shot. There it is, that touch, just insane. Djokovic with great net coverage. Is he gonna get out of this point? Is he? Hmm. Good effort from Fucsovics. Kind of fighting his life away there. But Joko gets it. Deuce. Erlon, love the question. Keep them coming. My favorite American women's tennis player is Emma Navarro. I first of all, I love her game style. Such a fighter. I do like the fact that she, came from UVA. Was a good college player. But I feel like she's just like steadily improved over the last few years. And yeah, I just love the way she competes. I wrote a little article about that, so you can check that out. SimonSaysTennis.com. And a little net court assistance there. Djokovic does get the pass, so it brings up break point. An early one, from 40-15. I am a fan of Coco. I just let's just say, yeah, I mean, I prefer some of the other players. Navarro is the one. Djokovic on defense there. That's like the first time where you're like, can he extend this rally? He's late on the backhand. What about you guys? Who's your favorite American woman? Wow, that's an awesome return from Djokovic. Actually, they took it late, but went up the line and kind of flattened it out. Yeah, yeah, it looks to be moving pretty well. And that forehand goes wide. So the early break for Djokovic, I don't know. I mean, had to work to get that a little bit. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Matteo Arnaldi is waiting in the next round. And wouldn't Djokovic love a redemption opportunity? I feel like two matches would be perfect. I guess he would have to play the third if he did win that, and then it's time to rest up. He is sandbagging a bit. Yeah, that's another good name. Hold on for you guys. Well, that serve and volley did not go to plan. I feel like we will see a lot of experimenting today from Djokovic, although I think he set himself up perfectly. Yeah, Ashley Kruger, another good name. I kinda get her and McCartney Kessler mixed up. I'm not sure if which of them beat Rybakina in Miami. Djokovic opening up that court beautifully, overhead practice, almost an effort. Um, Kosti, give me maybe rewrite that question. Give it to me maybe in more simple terms. I'll attempt at an answer. Let's get a little update with Sasha Zverev. He did hold for 6-5. Mueller will serve to stay in it for a second time. And Luciano Darderi and Nakashima having a battle in Hamburg as well. It's hilarious. But Djokovic goes for the +1 drop shot from the baseline and is unsuccessful. So we got deuce. Fucsovics starting this game, love 30. I mean, Sean, that's I guess another talking point. Like, how does the coaching change ahead of a major affect his chances? I'm gonna go with limited, if any, at all. I just don't think that Andy Murray would do like a crazy amount. I guess it's all like mental at this point, and you just need someone in that box to kind of level yourself. And we know Djokovic loves to kind of yell at his camp a bit. Receive that same sort of energy, and it's a beautiful serve down the tee, 2 holes for 4-1. But yeah, I mean, he needs someone that he's comfortable with, and he's getting that for his next coach. So like, I don't know. There's just not much to go off of as of late. 2 matches on the surface this year, 2 losses. Oh, see you guys. See. Sean, what do you think though? I mean, do your do your chances about him change after the coaching change? Yeah. I mean, my answer is like not much of a difference, if any. All right, so Zverev heading to a tiebreak. That he is. Alex Mueller, I mean, once again, I just think this is such an interesting spot for Sasha, in a very important tournament to him. But it's the week before Roland Garros. You're gonna need all the steam you can in your legs. I talked about it with Cerundolo. Thought it was a very important scheduled loss today against Lehechka. And I just feel like Mueller has that same opportunity today. And like for Sasha, yeah, if he wins, great, but if he loses, maybe even better. At this point, he knows that his opportunities were kind of behind him in a sense. Opportunities to, get world number one, try and achieve some titles without Sinner and Alcaraz in the picture, but now that's dead and gone, and you have to focus on the big event where you're a defending finalist. Sorry, Sean, I'm gonna read your comment now. Just came in. Thanks. Right, right. I mean, what Djokovic have to battle is like getting over the mental side of things to, believing that you can beat him. And I feel like this season it's kind of collapsed. I mean, even last year, but players are not stepping on the court as fearless, or they're stepping on the court more fearless as opposed to, worrying about their how they stack up against Djokovic. And then you take that with Djokovic's, as you said, run of form, just like actually playing ability, and it's just not it's just not, I guess, as intimidating as it used to be. I feel like this is kind of his last chance unless, he really wants to get himself physically going again in the off season. That's a beautiful return of serve, takes the backhand early, and it brings up a break point at 1-4, which should allow him to serve for the set. 100%, Sean. I think like the presser after Monte Carlo was like, wow, as Djokovic is doing beautifully to stay in this point. Fucsovics is spreading the court. It's gonna be a running overhead that he puts away for deuce. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that presser after his loss to Tabia and Monte Carlo is just concerning. I mean, it's just a little bit disappointing, he's kind of like, I've won everything. There are gonna be days when I just don't really show up, and that's part of it at this point. And it's not the biggest deal in the world to him anymore. We're not used to seeing that. It's difficult to kind of really wrap your head around. Just one of the best athletes of all time, one of arguably the best competitors of all time. And I don't think the competition kind of side of it has gone, but it's it's just interesting to see. So Fucsovics does hold, and hey, I mean, kind of super important, maybe. Any chance you can make this, a physical battle? We are at altitude, so these points haven't been long, but both players have done a good job kind of trying to get on top of the rallies. Djokovic like defending super well there at 30-40 on that break point, but just too good for Fucsovics. Love it, love it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is gonna turn into a Roland Garros show by the by the second set for me because I'm gonna go on some little anecdotes, but all right, Nerlon, I'm reading. So taking a look at your top 10 on the women's side. Wow, Nerlon. So I know who your favorite American women's tennis player is, which is great. So I think she is deserving of that ranking, and I actually wouldn't doubt you. I mean, you kind of have to put Sabalenka in front of her. Maybe slow clay. Like, I think slow clay allows it to even out a bit more, but you do have to. I mean, I'm just still giving that slight edge to Sabalenka, but throwing Quinlan Zhang in there before Swiatek, I don't know. I don't know, Nerlon. I feel like that's recency bias, but I know we're gonna have all these difficult conversations about Iga, and I am an Iga fan. So I do carry some bias. I try not to because it's it's tough. Jamba. Yeah, I mean this looks like the best opportunity for her. I heard some talking tennis contributors talking about this a few streams ago, and you think about Iga, and you think about her history. at the tournament, and then you think about her form. And I think it was John maybe talking about, like, is there a Nadal effect, once you get back to, this court, and how does that kind of, like, sit in, I bet Iga's been there for 5, 6 days now training. It's just where she's produced some of her best tennis. It is where she did lose in the Paris Olympics after winning the title, the French Open title. So I guess that is also maybe not as fun of a feeling as opposed to lifting a title. But I just don't know if I can put Quinlan Zhang in front. Sabalenka, yeah. I mean, it's just like at this point, what do you have to go against her with? She's playing the best tennis of her life. She's playing the best tennis in the world, and she gave herself a little extra buffer of rest. I mean, what's not to love? Did take a little time away from that match, but I think it was a quick hold. Now I'm trying to get a score update in this Zverev Mueller match. I think it's actually match point here, 5-6. Zverev serving to, I guess, yeah, match point. I'm watching it now. And Alexander Mueller is victorious in Hamburg. Now, not to be that guy, was telling some friends I liked Alexander Mueller's chances this week and today, more specifically. Just an extremely improved player for me. The backhand super steady, very very aggressive, I guess in a sense. Really actually produces a lot of RPMs on the forehand, which is a lot safer on the surface, and the backhand fires. The guy's one of the more underrated athletes on the tour, I think, as well. Super, super quick and gets to the net quickly, has good hands, really forces the issue, I feel like, at sometimes, but man, that's awesome. So now we have Djokovic with 3 set points here at 2-5. I do want to talk more about Alexander Mueller, though. I guess the Hamburg event in general. After this set is complete, as the backhand down the line for Djokovic goes a bit long. Oh, and there it is. Wow. So I told you the first backhand down the line went long. This one is picture perfect. As you can imagine, a Djokovic backhand would be as he stares it down. Jake, thanks for returning, and apologies for running out earlier, but I'm back. I'm not gonna let you down. Djokovic takes the first set 6-2 and looked good. I feel like at the start of that set, I was like, "Ooh, who really knows?" But, it looked good there. Yeah, anyway, let's get back to my Hamburg thoughts. I just think it's such a difficult situation and something that the tour kinda has to solve in a sense, because putting an ATP 500 the week before a slam, we obviously saw the t I'm just gonna use a extremely outlandish number. But it was literally about 12 guys, I think, withdrew from this tournament. And that's it's just tough. It's just tough. I mean, I understand Rublev playing. He needs more matches. Hasn't been a good clay season for him. I think kind of after that Rome loss to Musetti, Zverev almost felt forced to play in Hamburg. As I mentioned, it's one of those events that he loves to play at. And previously the tournament was held after Roland Garros, but this year they moved beforehand, and it just creates kind of just a tough atmosphere. I mean, you even look at the crowds; they're not as good. The draw is obviously very, very poor for a 500, but you also get retirements. I mean, we saw earlier with Karen Khachanov playing in Geneva. They did not finish the match yesterday, and then I just don't even know if he played it, if he even came on court today. But that was likely going to a third with Kai Nishikori. Whatever. It's just a tough week in the sport, and this is like a great opportunity for Fucsovics, for example. Alex Mueller, Arnaldi, whatever you name it. These types of guys who, have the opportunity to get more reps and kind of have a true chance at a title. As opposed to a Grand Slam. I'm sorry, a major run at Roland Garros. Jake, yes, that's what I was talking about with Martin Fucsovics. I mean, he's a player that I'm not watching on a weekly basis. Kind of hangs around that 90s to maybe just outside the top 100. Talked about his title in Bucharest. He kind of loves heavy conditions. Um, you know, essentially is a wall, fitness wise, physically, and plays with his own sense of variety. I would say, kind of using the slice super effectively, setting up the inside out forehand. But like a pure defender that has some pretty good hands, and definitely prefers the clay. Any other stories you guys want to talk about? I guess Nerlon, I should circle back to your. I only looked at the top four, kind of stopped at Iga. Now I'm looking at you got Svitolina there at 5 in front of Miro, which I think is fair. Collins is right there. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Ostapenko at 9. It's actually good. That's a really good power ranking. I think there are going to be some people who are angry because you left out Jasmine Paulini in your top 10. That's kind of, yeah, I don't know if that's allowed. And there's that beautiful Djokovic backhand down the line to hold to love. Wow. And it's Darderi who's up 5-2. All right. So we are underway again. Now it looks like play was canceled for the rest of the day in Paris. Wow, Djokovic just very, very good deception there. Good baseline exchange. Fucsovics comes out on top. So anyone, feel free to ask me any questions, anything tennis related. Feel free to hear my thoughts. Obviously, looking forward to Roland Garros. Excited to have more of those conversations. Draw will be dropping tomorrow. As Fucsovics trying to land a beautiful cross court forehand, but it just goes wide. So 30 all. And Djokovic kind of bail out on that return. Jake, no, I haven't. I haven't. I am very honest. I would love to see her play. I think it was kind of an unexpected victory. I mean, she's 16 years old, getting a wild card to Roland Garros qualies. Pretty awesome. Very very cool by the French Tennis Federation to give her that opportunity, or maybe she earned it. Who knows? But let's see. Did she get a chance to play today, or was she still waiting on the sidelines? I know we only got so many matches in. No, she did not get to play. Have you seen her play, Jake? I'm curious how her. I mean, probably still has a lot of room to grow. Okay, 2-2 in the first set, and it got paused. Wow, Sabres Field goes down. Wow, interesting, Jake. Okay, pretty cool year. AO juniors. Now you're playing French Open qualies. Plays nothing like her brother. Yeah, I mean, quite a skill set, and some physically gifted genes. But interesting, not much of a serve. Is she a righty or a lefty? I guess I would assume she's a righty, and assume that she has a two-handed backhand. What's going on the rest of the day in Geneva and Hamburg? Arderi ends up taking down Nakashima. Almost a 3-hour clash. Oh, we got GMP versus FAA. That's pretty exciting. I was kind of impressed, I'd say, by Felix coming through over Danny Altmaier fairly casually. I think it was 3-3 yesterday. Altmaier receiving a wild card to Hamburg. Feel like that was an opportunity to get himself super prep going into the French. Oh, we got Fernley and Popyrin going at each other as we speak. Oh, Papia lead 3 love, and now it's 4-5. Friendly serving to stay in the set. It's Pagula and Kalinskaya going at it. Uh, Brewster, I don't know. I feel like we could get the break here, and then Djokovic runs away with it again, 4-1. But hey, if it's 3-3, then I think you have an opportunity. Let me see how you're probably joining 20 minutes. Yeah, maybe. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm looking at Fucsovic's career in review. I was gonna say these conditions are perfect. So Fucsovics actually won this event, Geneva, in 2018, and then his only other final was last year in Bucharest. These kind of are the ideal Fucsovics conditions, but it is now love 30 as he's trying to fight off that Djokovic inside out power with the slice. Super Dave. That's awesome. Producer throws in a funny comment. Cannot remember the name of the player who won the tournament. It was probably Fucsovic. Super Dave, that's awesome. Working on the car, beautiful. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'll try and keep you up to date as the slice from Djokovic goes long. So from love 30 to 30 all, and this was the same spot where he got broken in the first set. So, can he overcome that, hold here for 2 all and go again? Yeah, I mean, when I was kind of evaluating this matchup for Djokovic, I'm thinking, these are the Fucsovics conditions, but will give you, I guess, a sense of it's kind of a wall. But I feel like today he's trying to spread the court more than maybe typical, but I am honest, I don't watch a lot of Fucsovic. As I talked about, I mean, he's kind of just, like, hard to describe his game style. He's a wall that plays with a lot of slice and, does have a wicked forehand. Like, can really, really bash it, and then just, like, very sneaky good hands. And sporty 30, flat serve wide, just misses. And then Vucevic does hold 2-2. I don't know, guys. I feel like, can that spark Vucevic to get going? Djokovic quietly having a good service day. Not necessarily looking at the stats, but hitting his spots well, using the +1 effectively. They just put up a stat. Let's see what it is. Yeah, they flashed on the screen that Fucsovics had 3 top 10 wins. Medvedev, Rublev, I forget the other one. Oh, it was points on serve won this set. Oh, and it was gonna be the 12 for 12, but Djokovic misses the volley. I was really excited to see how long Djokovic could go on serve. That was gonna be 12 for 12 in the set. Oh, the beautiful slap forehand. Wait, Djokovic does, like, a little giddy up after he hits that shot. It looked like a celebration, but now he's wincing, and it looks like he's untying and retying his right shoe. Maybe tweak the ankle a little bit on that slap forehand. I'm gonna watch it again from a distance. And he's taking off the shoe. Let's see here. Yeah, no, he's fine. Super Dave. Djokovic slays Sixers. Yeah, no, it's insane. I mean, I feel like the thing about Djokovic, it's obviously like when he brings these insane. Oh wow, he's really just taking it off. Is he calling the medic? Yeah. Gonna do a little treatment on the ankle. It looks that way at least. Kind of lost my train of thought once I realized that he's actually getting attention to it. Okay, then he definitely called before. He asked for it before. But oh, okay. I'm reading your comments, Super Dave, and that's jogging my train of thought again. So yeah, I mean, you think about the big points, like the serve always comes out, it's always a first serve. Uh, but his ball toss is just so hard to read. And you're right. I mean, the slice is so good. It's all just so good. And cameraman not doing the best job in terms of like giving me an idea of what's going on with Djokovic's foot, what type of medical treatment he's receiving. It looked like he was going under the big toe, and he's rubbing some cream on it. I wouldn't mind a better camera angle, but it's all good, I guess. So, yeah, they're not really showing us much. It's a little bit annoying. I assume maybe some blisters. Like, that's great that they're showing me a snapshot of another cameraman, but I would like to see the treatment they're giving Novak Djokovic. I mean, there hasn't been any sorts of, like, grimacing throughout the match for me. Like I said, I think he called it after the first game. He's like, "Yeah, I'll see the medic in the 3rd," or after the 5th game, so we shall see. Yeah, Djokovic is, I would say, "hurt" in quotations. I don't think he's injured by any means, maybe has a blister under that big toe on his right foot after he had a beautiful slap forehand. Um, so yeah, it's the, Pegula-Kalinskaya Classic. I feel like they always have, like, tight matches. Oh, okay, wow. Did not know the back issue came out because obviously she did get breadstick and then, like, kind of a competitive 3rd, but seemed like Collins kinda ran away with it. So Djokovic is back on court and looking powerful as ever and very good movement. Yeah, sorry, that got caught off there, but Pegula and Kalinskaya are going to a 3rd. It was 6-4 in the first set, 6-4 in the second set, so we are going to a 3rd in Strasbourg. So, yeah, I think it was something with Djokovic and his big toe. I'm guessing blisters, but we shall learn more, and it is quickly. Oh, very interesting bounce there. And now we're back into a tussle here between Fucsovics and Djokovic, and Fucsovics misses the forehand wide. Both of them crouched down. Fucsovics came in for a volley and right about the service line, just kind of popped it up. It was an easy one for Djokovic to put away, but he actually hits it directly at Fucsovics, and Marton had turned his literal head around and just kept his racket out there, and it hits the frame, like the little space, that connects the head of the racket to the throat of it, and actually goes over Djokovic's head like a lob, and it had such weird spin on it. Djokovic just hit like, some safe topspin cross court and got himself back in the rally. But here we are. It's love 40. And of course, Djokovic apologized. You know. So love 40 here. Backcourt and Djokovic hits the winner. So go see your back. You missed a lot of action. Djokovic MTO. But more of the same. And I don't know if our producer is gonna make it back in time to show his face as it's now 4-2 Djokovic up the break and serving. It does. Yep, yep. We took it MTO. Let me see if I can get you some more info live. It was for his right foot. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Djokovic doing the classic huffing and puffing. First match back in 4 weeks almost. Crazy. Yeah, that is the most beautiful scoreboard we have ever put up in history. But Fucsovics gets one back. He did the drop shot well. Joker is not able to snuff it out. So you're thinking, is this the last chance for Fucsovics? He's gonna get on it, and he does help his chances. Playing with good depth all match, honestly. And it's given himself, opportunities to kind of tee off on that forehand as he did there. Middle of the court, goes kind of the inside out. So 30 all, big point. And he goes with the wide serve on the deuce side, and you have to be kidding me with this return. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I gotta describe this one for you guys. So it's a beautiful wide serve, but Fucsovics almost disguises that he doesn't read it and takes it late up the line. Djokovic with a huge slide defensively to at least give himself a chance, and it ricochets off the back of the baseline. This makes it such a difficult ball to hold and pushes it long. Djokovic with a huge apology. Maybe sat like this for 5 seconds. I feel like he's gotten all the bounces he's needed this match, but he does double fault. So we're back to deuce. Yeah, I mean, these conditions are interesting, Super Dave. I'm gonna look up how cold it is because it doesn't look that warm. Sun is not out, and there it is. There it is. Super Dave, a beautiful slice. Serve. It is an ace. Yeah, it's 64 degrees Fahrenheit and cloudy. The Djokovic backhand is just insane today. And he gets the hold. Right. All right. Your backhand, Ghosty. Quick scoreboard update here, guys. In Strasbourg, it is Donskaya who held first, and she's looking at 2 break points. Pagula is not the best red clay player. And yeah, I talked about that matchup. It's been interesting. feel like it's always tight. It's gone 3 sets every single time, and it does for a 4th. So, can Marton Fucsovics hold once more to give himself a chance? Oh, and he hits a beautiful drop shot. I don't know if he even believed in that one himself. Yeah, and you just give oh, just feel like Fucsovics never really got a hold of this match. He has that ability on the surface. Djokovic just insane from the backhand today. Beautiful serve, timely, up the tee. Pretty all producer in the elevator. And we get a hold from Fucsovics. Yeah, this match is like Djokovic doing the classic Djokovic, knowing he's hitting the clean ground strokes, but that one does go far. Game point. But it is back to deuce. Oh, okay, that serve was good. I couldn't tell. Up shot from Djokovic, no good. And Fucsovics is up to it and gets the hold.
Hey, Brenna.
Don, how are you? Welcome
Very
in.
well. Thank you for holding the fort.
Of course.
Did I miss anything crazy? Obviously, I tuned in during the second set. So obviously, Djokovic didn't get the break until I think 3-1. Looks like the first set was pretty comfortable for him, 5-0 head to head, maybe being represented there.
Yeah, and I feel like this match wasn't the easiest for him. On paper, people would say it, but Fucsovics is always a tough battle in terms of like you don't really know what you're gonna get. And he kind of thrives in these conditions. This is one of his 2 ATP titles. Obviously, it's been 7 years, but Djokovic not having played in almost a full month, so you just weren't sure what you're gonna get. But looks pretty tidy. Moved well today. Served well. Um,
Yeah,
that's
Djokovic
kind of been
hasn't
the
played.
story.
Yeah, right since losing early in Madrid, right?
Right, to Arnaldi, and guess who he would play if he does win this
Ah,
match?
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
This will be his first clay court win of the year.
Right. So that's how crazy it went. I mean, it
Yeah.
was Tabio again in Rome, and then Monte Carlo, and then Arnaldi, and then that was that.
He's not won yet, of course. I've actually got
Right.
Callum's on my screen, but I can already see that it's love 15 on the Djokovic serve.
Right.
Djokovic got a bit lucky in the previous game as well on his serve, right? Because I heard you talking about an unbelievable return from Marton that
Oh,
Djokovic got away with.
got away with it totally. It's been clipping neck cords, back of the line. Bunch of apologies today, but that's part of the game. But yeah, Kalinskaya, I mean, I was looking at their head-to-head, and I was like, I always feel like this is a duel. So now it's 4 for 4 in terms of all of those matches going 3 sets, and it looks like Kalinskaya's gonna do it.
Yeah, 3-love up. Huge amounts of wind in
I
Strasbourg
mean,
today.
I'm hearing there's wind everywhere. I guess in
Okay.
Hamburg, it was super windy too.
Okay.
Maybe here.
I
It was
remember last year in Strasbourg, I was there, and they did have a pretty mixed week, let's say that, or maybe even worse than mixed. A lot of rain, some wind as well, but particularly rainy, I remember.
Mhm. I wasn't sure if you saw, but Zverev goes down to Alexander Mueller.
Oh, he lost.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. No.
he was up.
Djokovic on
I
the
guess.
cusp of victory
Yeah,
here.
yeah, he is on the cusp now. Um,
Oh, wow. That's who did he lose to in Rio? It wasn't Muller, was it? It was
yeah,
Comisania, wasn't it? Yeah. Muller beat
correct. Yeah.
Fonseca, of course, in that tournament.
Yep. Yep. That's what that match made me. I was like, all right, this guy. I didn't realize how maybe solid the Mueller backhand was,
Yeah.
and just like his athleticism. So like going on the clay, it's just that suits him well, and then he's hitting with a lot of spin on the forehand side. I guess the Zverev backhand was super off today, though, is what I've kind of read about. So,
Okay.
you know, and I talked a lot about just the difficulty of the timing, but it is match point here for Novak Djokovic. So they hang in a backhand to backhand rally. And Djokovic looks to change it up and go forehand cross court, but misses it a ball wide. So he's going to have one more chance. Yeah, and we were talking a little bit about, obviously Djokovic's first match since the breakup with Murray. How does that
Hmm.
affect him going into Roland Garros? Does that change his, I don't know, chances of it? And I was thinking, no, not really. Kind of just need someone to, throw his thoughts at, throw ideas, have someone to bounce off of. But second serve here, second match point. And it feels like these last 2 points are kind of what I thought I would see more of from Fucsovics in terms of kind of hanging back, using the slice, but there it is, an inside out backhand from the middle of the court. Djokovic hits another winner and gets his first win on clay in 2025.
Job done, I guess, as far as he's concerned, extending that head-to-head from 5-love to 6-love, or maybe 5-0 to 6-0. I'm not even sure what the parlance is when it comes to that. Was it ever in doubt?
Not today. Nope. Nope. Not on the scoreboard either.
All
I
right.
don't
Just
think
looking,
there was a break
just
point for Fucsovics. Yeah.
looking at the draw as you highlight, he's going to be playing Arnaldi next in the round of 16. Djokovic, of course, has played this tournament a few times before, right? Um, remember him getting to the semis and losing to Casper maybe last year, was it? Or no, he lost to Mahac, sorry, in the semis last year, I think, didn't he?
Right. Right. I was gonna say it is a rude stomping ground where
Yeah,
he
he's
always
certainly to play the
does
week
well here.
before the French is not crazy for him. So, I mean, I remember him playing in Belgrade as well, once or twice the week before the French Open. Um, So yeah, also just having a look at some other. That was a good win for Arnaldi beating Marjan.
Yep. Yep. I guess he's up 3-0 in that head-to-head now. He might have been. So
Okay. So it's Arnaldi, Djokovic, Mahac, Popperin. Hachanov is through again, and Hachanov, yeah, because he overcame Nishikori. Yes, I overcame because Nishikori didn't take the court today. So I guess he's playing Offner next.
mhm.
And Fritz is through, is he? Or has he got to play his match
He
with
is.
Harris? He is through,
He
is he?
is through. Yep.
So he's
He is
playing
through.
her catch, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So actually,
And
that's
we're
the
just
is that the
yeah, we're just waiting
quarterfinals?
on Nori. We're waiting on yeah, these are quarterfinals. We're just waiting on I think Popyrin is about Popyrin should win that against Fernley, and then yeah, Nori and Mahach are about to play, and
Okay.
then we'll know the final
And then
quarterfinal.
looking at Strasbourg, which is obviously on the cusp of the quarterfinals as well. That looks quite interesting. Rebecca is still
Mhm.
there against Lynette. I remember Lynette playing in Strasbourg last year as well. A somewhat return of form for Haddad Meyer. She's up against Navarro in another quarterfinal. But Dossa, fingers crossed if she's fit and healthy, she can do stuff on the clay for sure. Maybe this tournament, or more in particular, Roland Garros might come a little bit early for her in terms of this match against Samsonova, but the tournament as a whole, I mean, if she can just stay healthy, she's a threat almost on any surface, Paolo is.
100%, 100%. And yeah, I mean, Samsonova won't be easy. You got Emma Navarro and Haddad Maya at the bottom of that draw. That is a kind of a gutsy couple wins here for Haddad Maya.
I mean, if Kalinskaya holds on 3-1, she leads right now. It looks like we've got a break point though for Pagula on the
Right.
Kalinskaya. So looks like basically both players, but obviously Pagula being behind on the scoreboard is going to have to dig deep. I remember as they trudged off the court at 3-love and the wind was gusting up, I was thinking to myself, you know what? Some players might just take the L, chill, go and enjoy Paris like a lot of those other players are doing right now who are
Mhm.
obviously practicing there. But Pagula obviously decided, nope, I'm going to dig deep, bring up break point for myself. Let's see if she can win this break point. I was good depth there from Kalinskaya. I wasn't sure if that landed in. Drop shot from Pagula doesn't make it over the net. So, Juice. Yeah, that's looking like an interesting lineup. I mean, Rebecca is just almost impossible to tell what Rebecca is going to take to the court. I didn't see her previous match
Didn't either.
in Strasbourg. I mean, clay is not her best surface necessarily, but she's had some good wins. She's beaten Igor on this surface, for example, in Stuttgart last year. I would probably fancy her to beat Lynette, but yeah, again, it all depends on what Rebecca turns up. And yeah, Navarro, I'm not sure who did she beat today.
Let's see.
I'll have a look. She overcame Blinkova, yeah.
Right.
Blinkova's another
Okay.
one. You just
Yeah.
Blinkova for
4 and
different
1.
reasons. You just don't know which Blinkova's going to turn up. But I don't
Yep.
mean it. I mean, she always brings the right attitude to the court, but it's just that she does play sort of lights out tennis nonstop, and therefore she can spring a surprise, but she can also lose quite comfortably. She did to Emma Navarro earlier today. Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting one against Haddad Meyer. And then we've got is Rabat 250 or 125?
250.
250, okay.
Let's see.
Tomjanovic winning. Okay, it's interesting. Just looking at some of the results from today.
Mhm.
Osorio is close to the finish line right now. She's the number
Mhm.
2 seed there. I don't know what the opposite of stacked is, but that's probably what Rabat is. No offense. Well, I'm just seeing that Osorio is the 2nd seed. And what have we
Yeah.
got coming up tomorrow there? We've got Christians already
I
through.
think
Go on.
Maya Joint's probably the name to watch in terms of, a young gun. Probably not her preferred surface, so, let's see if she can make some noise.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. I did have a quick look at Hamburg as well. We've got the draw there. This is a nice looking clean. I was looking at the Geneva one. It was quite a confusing
This is clean.
situation I was looking at. But the Geneva one, sorry, this Hamburg one looks a lot cleaner. So we've got Muller awaiting the winner of Mpechi Pedicard against Felix. Andre Rublev. Oh, okay, so he beat Justin Engel, did he? Rublev.
Yeah. He was down 5-3 in that second set and ended up
Okay,
coming back.
that's a good one. Up against
Yeah.
Darderi. That's an interesting one. Rublev
Yeah,
Darderi. Let's have a
that
look at
is.
their head to head.
I'm gonna go with they haven't played.
You're right. Yep, they haven't
Yeah.
played. Darderi kind of feels to me as though he's a bit. I mean, I'm just thinking about probably when I've met him and looking at him close up. I didn't realize he was 23. I felt like he's a bit older.
hmm
Rublev's
Yeah,
ranking down to 17. Oof.
I know, right? I feel like the season kind of resets for him after Madrid. I don't think there's anything else that he's defending going forward. So, I guess kind of just like a fresh start for him. And yeah, I mean, it's not the worst draw. I mean, Darderi obviously like a clay quarter himself, but these conditions are a little bit tough in Hamburg. And who knows? I mean, Rublev, like I said, looking for form, looking for confidence. I feel like he's the type of guy that like wouldn't really mind trying to win a title before Roland
When was
Garros.
Rublev's last title? Did he? Oh,
It
did he
was,
win
it
one
was,
this year against
yeah, he won
Draper?
1,000 in Draper. I get him
He
confused,
beat
but
Draper
Dubai.
in a 500. Yeah, in the Middle East, right?
No, it was 1,000, I think.
No, 500. We don't. The
No,
first thousand on the
what am
men's
I
side
saying?
is Indian
Right,
Wells.
Indian Wells, yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
But that aside, obviously, then it's Madrid, and Madrid was an unusual title. I know Andre holds it very dearly, and I don't understand why, but it was a sort of a draw that sort of fell apart, and we saw Felix in the final, and Rublev got over the line there. But yeah, and then Darderi, of course. Did he win Marrakesh, Darderi? Trying to think who won that.
yes, he beats
Yeah.
he beats Greekspor 2 breakers.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yep.
I think many of us, or certainly I went for Greeks ball in that one, but I was pleasantly surprised to see Darderi put it off and winning the two breakers there, as you say. So this is yeah, I mean it's a difficult quite. We've obviously got one eye or more than one eye on the French Open, and we're also looking at form. It's difficult to see and know. I mean, I think today's loss for Zverev is it's another dent in the aura if Zverev did indeed have it. I was talking to Damien the other day about him going into the French Open and probably has to sort of be in this sort of third favorite category. I
Mhm.
just saw him as leading the pack rather than being on his own. But with every loss like this, I mean, his years, Zverev. I know he won Munich, didn't he, right at the beginning of the clay court season, beating Ben Shelton in the final. But if we think about some of the other performances and losses since Australia, Cerundolo in Argentina, which at the time felt like a shock, but maybe aged quite well. But then we've got that Comisania loss in Rio. Griekspoor, was it in Indian Wells, I
And
think, in a third set
yeah,
breaker? And then in Miami, who did he lose to in
I'm
Miami?
I'm
But it
thinking.
wasn't a good one, not for him anyway. Of course, he didn't take kindly to a question. He lost to Feast in Miami. Okay. He didn't
Yep.
take kindly to the question as well about a week ago in Rome. You've not, you've won here, but obviously 1000s haven't been a great hunting ground for you this year. He didn't take kindly to that, and I think he didn't say 1000s to be fair. I think, but he just said, you had a few early losses, which was obviously forgetting
Mhm.
or not paying attention to. It's an interesting rally I'm seeing go on between Kalinskaya and Pagula here, which Pagula should win,
Yeah.
but ultimately Kalinskaya does. So rough year basically for Zverev. And then in Monte Carlo, who did he lose to in the singles? There, Berrettini. Yeah, I remember that one, 7-5 in the third. Then he wins, obviously, as I said before, but then losing to Cerundolo again in Madrid. So, yeah. And then in Rome, losing to Massetti. Yeah, in straight sets. So,
Yeah, it's been it's been tough sledding. Um, as Kalinskaya goes to the floor there. Not sure if you're seeing that. I think she's
you're
okay
probably
though.
about a point ahead of me. So,
Yeah,
I'm at 15 all
yeah.
in the game here. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I think we can bring this to a close. Enjoy the tennis for the rest of the day. In fact, I am just going to do one more thing, which is basically those of you that are watching right now on YouTube, you will be redirected to our live draw tomorrow because I'm going to edit the video. And there's a very cool thing you can do on YouTube now where you can, as soon as this video finishes, they will get redirected to our draw. Now, that does mean that you just have to leave the window open for the next 15, 16 hours, but some people do. I mean, obviously, sometimes, of course, it's minutes or a little bit more than minutes afterwards. But
Mhm.
on this occasion, it's going to be, I don't know, 17, 18 hours before the draw. Oh, I see Karen Sky now on the floor. Yeah. Is she
Yeah.
okay?
She's okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Just had
Your
to get up to a
second
drop
round.
shot.
Yeah. All right. Well, the draw is something to look forward to. I think actually Zverev is kind of one of the names that I was looking out for in terms of the draw, in terms of where is this guy falling. I think the other questions will be actually about the first rounds. You know, where will João Fonseca fall? Will it be imagine João Fonseca, Carlos Alcaraz, or João Fonseca against Zverev, or João Fonseca against Sinner or Djokovic even, I think,
Yeah.
would be very interesting because I can see Djokovic going on a run, but he might just need a nice couple of early rounds, maybe avoiding a Arnaldi or maybe avoiding a Darderi in the first round or two for Novak. Actually, where are Darderi? Well, Darderi's not seeded, so I'm just trying to think about Arnaldi.
Mhm.
What's his ranking now?
He's probably right on that 30s line.
39. So I think neither will be
Yeah.
seeded. So yeah, there's players. I think on the men's side, I was thinking about where Zverev landing, but with every loss that becomes less relevant. Players such as Greek Spore, who I don't think is seeded. Baez, although Baez European clay is a different kettle of fish, I know. Lehetska, not seeded. Arnaldi, Muller, these are all players not seeded. Darderi as well. Martinez, and maybe Kecmanovic. Bublik not seeded as well. Those are players I think that if you are just feeling a bit vulnerable, perhaps like a Novak Djokovic, like an Andrei Rublev, like a Grigor Dimitrov as
I
well.
was gonna say Dimitrov is the other name that came to mind.
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
players that are just not getting many wins at the moment on the clay. Maybe Stefanos Tsitsipas too. They might all be thinking, and Zverev as well, might be thinking, you know what? I do not want to be playing any of the players I just mentioned, and throw João Fonseca in as well. Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm most interested in. Where do they land? Because actually, normally we go into a draw, and it'll be like, whose half is this going to be? Of course, Iga on the women's side is super intriguing because she's seeded 5. So where does the sort of quarter shake up for all of those players? An Iga versus Sabalenka quarterfinal, and Iga versus Coco Gauff quarterfinal. Yeah, could be very
Yeah.
intriguing. All
It
right.
is. It is.
Well, so Silky's never going to stop. Indeed. Well, let's bring it to an end now, Jake, because I do have things to do as you do as well as we all do.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, we'll see you for the draw tomorrow. On that bombshell, I'm going to find the button.
Cheers. Thanks, John.
Yeah, thanks, Brenna.
Enjoy the
Take care.
final.
Will do. Oh, yes, I'll try.
Yes.
Ciao.
Ciao.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.